As President Trump firms up his cabinet, there is one pick that Wall Street is watching like a hawk because he will be the one who holds the key to the potential AT&T Time Warner deal. Charlie Gasparino on that news, on that pick, and what it all means to stockholders.
You know, Liz, the selection of Ajit Pai as the FCC chief should be a positive for this deal. He's known as a free market guy. He's known as a guy that generally would reverse sort of the sort of severe the severity of the Obama years, where the FCC was blocking deals, basically imposing net neutrality and things of that nature. But that's not what's happening here. There's a couple things going on here. He was named, I believe, yesterday. He's giving his testimony is going to be given in the next couple of weeks. It hasn't been scheduled yet, but the market still is sensing some bit of trepidation about this deal getting final approval from the Trump administration. It needs two approvals, the FCC and the DOJ. Antitrust division. Still what we hear from inside the Trump people is that there is still opposition to this deal from the likes of Steve Bannon, one of his senior advisors. Jared Kushner in the past has voiced some concerns about it. Another senior advisor. And even Reince Priebus, his chief of staff, has spoken about this. And as you know, Donald Trump has said some very negative things about this deal, primarily stemming from his feud with CNN, which is owned by Time Warner.
So he's going to, hold on, I just have to ask a question. So it doesn't seem like Donald Trump to put a guy in place and then tell him, don't do what you would normally do. Do what I say to do. You know, I find that interesting. I mean, if Ajit Pai is that guy who's been free market and pro-mergers, whereas the Obama administration was anti-mostly mergers, then he'd put this guy in who then has to bow to a Steve Bannon or a Reince Priebus?
Well, he does work for the administration. He is an administration appointee, and I think, you know, we'll just have to see how this thing goes. You know, I will just say this. The signals coming from inside Trump land is that there's still significant skepticism and, I guess, opposition to the deal from the likes of Steve Bannon. This guy, the appointment of Ajit Pai as head of the FCC would seem to be a positive for the deal. But like I said, what's coming from internally is that there's still like a lot of skepticism up and down the line. And as you know, Donald Trump, the president, was the first guy to voice his skepticism about the deal, having too much power, you know, AT&T controlling 25% of distribution, and then possibly blocking other content providers to favor its own, CNN. So, and HBO is another factor here. So that's where we are right now. His testimony, when he gives it, is going to be big for this stock. As we said last week, the testimony of Steve Mnuchin as Treasury Secretary confirmation hearings, that was big for Fannie and Freddie and the GSEs, right. And you know, it moved the stock. Watch this one, stock, AT&T and Time Warner, on this guy's testimony. It
just seems like Donald Trump has made some picks that, listen, Judd Gregg and Dorgan said these have been really interesting and good picks. And these guys have sometimes disagreed with what Donald Trump has said on the campaign.
Absolutely.
It seems like Donald Trump is a businessman who likes to throw it up and say, all right, make the best argument, and then I will listen to that, which I think is good leadership.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Charlie Gasparino, thank you very much.